Fashion regrets. Everybody's got them. They're the things that you look back on over time and you wonder, why? Why did I even wear those, right? Well, today we're covering my top 10 over the years that I'm thinking some of these are going to be your fashion regrets as well. Well, some of these are more recent regrets. Let's start out with the first one that I can remember. That's a doozy, okay? The Dorothy Hamill haircut. I know most of you ladies remember that. And back in the 70s, after she won her gold medal for figure skating, that haircut was like a trend that just hit it. Everybody wanted that haircut. And of course, it looked really cute on her. This is how haircuts go, don't they? You see somebody with a haircut, it looks great on them, but that doesn't mean it's going to look great on everybody. Of course, I had the Dorothy Hamill haircut, and I look at pictures of myself and I'm like, I would have probably not picked that, but I was young, and it just made my face look even rounder. That must have been a great haircut to do back in that day, because it's like, just put a bowl on top of somebody's head, call it a day. Trim around the bowl, you're good. How many of you ladies had that haircut back in the day? I am betting there's going to be quite a few of you. Comment below and let me know. Now, back around that same time period came the second fashion regret, and I want to say this is one of the worst fashions I've ever seen. Back in the 70s again, but I've seen them recently, as recent as last summer. It is gauchos or culottes, whatever you want to call them, same thing. I'm telling you what, they're just weird. They hit you at a weird part of your leg. They're wider. I just never understood it. It's like wear a skirt or wear pants. I don't know what it is about gauchos, but I just have like a physical reaction to gauchos. It takes me back to that time thinking about wearing those as a kid, and I'm like, no, I am never wearing gauchos again. If I had to do it, and I had to pick a pair of gauchos or culottes or wearing capris, what would I do? That'd be a dilemma, okay? But I'm gonna pick capris because the gauchos are even worse to me. I'm sorry, and I know some of you still wear them, and if you do, enjoy them, okay? Don't listen to me. You do what makes you feel the best, always. But these are just my regrets, and some of you may feel the same way about them. Now we're moving up into the 80s. And while there were a ton of fashion regrets from the 80s, these are my top ones. The next one to talk about is stirrup pants. It was almost like a legging, but with a little hook at the bottom, so it would never lift up. The thing about that was, it always felt like it was pulling under my foot, so when I'm walking, you just kind of got that resistance going on. I hated that. So with stirrup pants, I saw coming back a couple of years ago. I was like, oh no, that is not coming back into my closet. I don't care how much I see it in every store in the world, not doing it. I mean, at that point, just wear a pair of leggings. I almost feel like that's more comfortable and it's not gonna be pulling on the bottom of your foot, and you don't have to have a band stuffed down into your shoe to wear leggings. The other, probably more important fashion regret of the 80s is the fanny pack. Fanny pack. Okay, let me just say this. Already, there are a lot of us that have an issue with our waist, right? We're not real comfortable with where we are carrying our weight, right in our middle section. And you put a big old stuffed fanny pack right there, it's just drawing attention to that area that we feel uncomfortable about already. So a fanny pack, I think, is a horrible idea. But nowadays, they're taking the same kind of concept, and it's more of a cross-body or cross-chest tone to it. Now, for women who are lucky enough to have a lot going on up here, that may not work for you because you don't need an added bulk here. So stay away from that if you are pretty big chested. But if you're somebody small like myself, that's a great idea because now it's not drawing attention to my stomach area and it's easy to get to, and I kind of just like the trend of that more current way of wearing it. The next 80s fashion regret is the banana clip. What the heck was going on with banana clips? It's like, I want a mohawk in the back of my head or I want a mullet that I want to just like start at the top and it drapes down. I get that it was a way to put your hair back and it was something different. It's like, just do a ponytail. Just do a ponytail. When I look back, I wore them. I wore the banana clip. Now I look back and think it looked dumb. I just don't need to look like I've got a mohawk in the back of my head. And while we're talking about hair, let's talk about the big hair of the 80s. Where were we going with that? Like to the point where we would pull this up, straight up, and spray it, okay? So that it would just all the way up and maybe just boop, little turn on the side. I remember my parents telling me back in that day, for my senior picture, the big hair thing, okay? And they're like, I think you're gonna regret later on in years looking at those pictures and seeing all that big hair back then. I mean, it was the thing, okay? It was just the thing. But looking at all the yearbook pictures from that time frame and everybody doing that to their hair, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I mean, why do we need our hair so darn big? Yeah, that was another one. It's like if big hair came back, and I'm talking like it did in the 80s, where the bangs were straight up in the air, it's a no. It reminds me of that movie, What About Mary, with the bangs getting stuck up in the air like that. It's just a no. Now, another regret that started happening as I got a little bit more mature, and I'm getting better at this, not perfect, but better. It is going to the stores and finding the one item that you see on the rack that you love, okay? Maybe it is just this top, this wild top that you're like, I love that. I can't think of what I would wear it with in my closet, but I love it, so I need to get it. You take it home, it hangs up in your closet until you're like, I'll find the right thing to go with that. And then you never do. And the tags are still on it years later. And you're like, okay, I just wasted the money. I love that top, but I never found the right thing to wear with it. So that is actually a big regret, or could be a big regret for you as well, because it's like, unless you find the whole look to go together, just buying those random pieces, hoping that you'll find something in your closet or down the road to go with it, and you never do, that's a huge fashion regret. One thing I'm hoping could be a help to all of you with that particular problem is I've started putting together fashion collages, okay, on my channel, on the community page. And it's a whole look all together, head to toe, the shoes, the purse, the jewelry, top, layering piece, and pants. So if you haven't seen those already, they're on my community page. I post them almost daily, and it'll have a description. And if you click read more, it'll open up all the links to each of the items in the picture. So if you actually want to shop them, you just click the link and it'll take you right to Amazon and right to that exact item. So it makes it way easier for you to shop for either whole looks or pieces that will go with things that you may already have in your closet. Now, the next fashion regret that I actually just rectified like 3 years ago, so not long, wearing underwear with seams in it. What a difference it makes when your bum looks seam-free, when you're wearing any kind of pant, skirt, a dress, and there is no big old Grand Canyon lines, okay, in the back. I'm like, what was I doing all those years? You may have some that work really well for you that show no seam at all, and if you found those, keep wearing them. The brand that I have been wearing for the last 3 years is by Niwe, one of those. Anyways, I love their underwear. It's like a laser cut in the back, so there is no seam. There is no sticky pad sticking to my bum, because I know some of you all like that Sonoma underwear, I think it's called. And I tried those. I wanted to like them, but I didn't like that sticky strip that was sticking on my tush. It just felt like I had a piece of mailing tape on my butt, and I just didn't like that. So the underwear that I wear don't have that. They're soft, they show no seam. The only problem is if you are someone that's got a tummy issue, they could tend to roll on you in the front. I've never had that problem, and I know a lot of women have not, but it could be an issue for you if you have a bigger stomach area going on. I will have a link to my underwear videos that I've done once I found those gems. It's going to be down below in the description box, because if you're still someone who has not rectified that fashion regret, you want to check this out. It's going to change the way you look in your clothes, for real. Now, here is my most recent fashion regret that I'm going to have to admit. And this fashion regret is probably from the springtime, really. And I'm still seeing it out there. And if you wear these, good for you. Wear what you love. But for me, personally, the wide leg jeans that have a wide cuff at the bottom, I'm all for a cuff. I used to roll my jeans up in the 80s all the time. And sometimes I still do. Roll them up just a little bit, whether I have a straight leg, like a narrower straight leg, or a skinny jean. I'll still do a roll because I just love that look. But a wide leg pant with a wide roll cuff at the bottom, I just look at it, I don't like it. I don't think it looks good at all, but that's just me. Now, I bought a pair from Walmart in the spring, and I wore them a couple of times because I'm like, let's try it out. It's a new trend. And every time I put them on, I was just like, oh, I just don't know. So they're gone. I donated those. And, you know, sometimes it's like you just have to try out trends and you find out that they're not for you, okay? And sometimes you try them out and you're like, that's my favorite new thing, you know? So it just takes trying things to do the process of elimination for you. Now, one of the new trends that I think I'm mature enough now to know that it's like, don't even waste your money. Don't even go there. You know you're gonna hate it. Are baggy jeans, baggy all the way up and down. I'm like, how is that good? I mean, I don't need skin tight jeans every time I put on a pair of jeans, but baggy butt, baggy crotch, baggy everything, the thighs, everything. And those barrel jeans, I've seen them, okay? And I'm like, no, I don't like those either. I know it's gonna be a trend that's gonna come and go, and I'm like, I don't even like the look of those in the first place. So it's just a no. I'm gonna stay away from both of those things. Now, the next thing we're gonna talk about, I thought it would be fun. If we were men, okay, what would be your #1 fashion regret as a man? And the thing that I thought about came to me so easily. I mean, I didn't have to think much of it at all. Speedos. I mean, Speedos, okay? It's like, you can just see everything in a Speedo. I'm sorry. I don't like seeing men in Speedos. I wouldn't want to wear a Speedo if I was a man. It's like, here I am. I don't know. I know they wear those a lot in Europe, and I know they work perfectly for men that are swimmers and things like that. But like, just to go to a pool, go to a beach or whatever, and get out your Speedo, I would just say, as a man, that would be my #1 fashion regret. If you have one that came to mind for you, put it down in the comment section. Let us read your comment as to which one you think would be the worst. And if I left something out, a fashion regret that just burns you, and I didn't mention it, put it down below as well, because that way we can all kind of read and get a good laugh together about all these different fashion regrets we've had over the years. Until I see you next time, my friends, stay beautiful on the inside and out.